Welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I am David, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about Mizzou basketball. But before we do that, please remember to hit the red subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Check out our Facebook page and Instagram page. Now, as we begin this talk about Mizzou basketball, they had a rough week this last week. They played Ole Miss on Wednesday and lost 80-59. And then they played Arkansas over the weekend and lost 86-81. A couple of things to note before we go into this, though. The Arkansas game, Mizzou played without Tillman. Unfortunately, there was a death in his family, so we send our condolences out to him and his family. Also, supposedly the team knew about the issue going on there before the Ole Miss game. So I'm wondering if that had some type of effect of how they were playing during that game. Now, to get into the nitty-gritty with the games, really the only thing to talk about with the Ole Miss game was Drew Smith had his usual 17 points. Mizzou was 5 for 15 from the free throw line. They cannot do that if they want to win games. That's 33% from the line. That's just terrible. I don't know what else to say there. However, the team did shoot 48% from the field, 42%, which is a little above their normal average from three. And then the key, in my opinion, in this game is they got out-rebounded 34-19. When you give up that many boards and you have a team shooting as well as Ole Miss did during that game, who shot over 50%, you cannot give up that many boards. Credit to Ole Miss, so they're all over the floor fighting for the rebounds. So they earned every one of those. The defense for Mizzou was a little all over the place as well during that game. So it was really disheartening, sloppy basketball, if you will, kind of hard to watch. Moving on to the Arkansas game without Tillman, it was a different look for Missouri, especially because they didn't have that inside presence they could go to underneath. No disrespect to Parker Braun and Mitchell Smith. They're just not offensive players. However, they got everything you wanted to get out of your offensive guards during this game. So Pinson was 5 from 8 from the three-point line, which is phenomenal. And he had 23 points in this game. Drew Smith scored his usual 15 to 20 range points and was 2 for 4 from 3. And then a surprise newcomer in this game, because of the hole that they had to fill, was Torrance Watson coming in and shooting 3 from 5 from 3, which is good offensive stats, something the team could use a little more of down the road. Maybe he earned a little playing time in the future with that. We'll see. It all depends on how Coach Martin likes his defense during that time. I don't know what the issue was with the lack of playing time with him, but hopefully he earned some more time in future games. Some other notes from that game, and this is kind of where, again, I've been harping on from the last game too. Mizzou shot 14 out of 21 from the free throw line, the charity stripe, if you will, while Arkansas was 20 out of 23. That's a 7-point swing of shots that you miss right there. And the score of the game was 86-81, so a 5-point difference. That essentially is the ball game right there. I mean, again, they shot around 66% there, so it's not terrible. But compared to Arky's 83, that's essentially what won the game for Arkansas. Some other notes in the game. The defense wasn't real tight again. Again, they allowed 80 points. Some of that was because they went into overtime. Some of that was because Tillman wasn't on the floor, so they couldn't shut down the inside paint as much. Kind of gave you an idea of how much or how important Tillman is to this basketball team when he's out on the court. But honestly, they played the best they could, and it looked like they gave you everything they could without Tillman. So I'm really proud of the way they played in that game. Now, the overall, what does it mean for the basketball team right now? The AP ranking came out today. Mizzou's dropped down to 20 from 10, so they dropped 10 spots from losing those 2 games. The NET rankings from the NCAA came out, and they're 37th. And then over the weekend, the committee ranking put Mizzou at number 16 as a 4 seed in one of the brackets for the tournament. However, I'm sure that's going to change once the next ranking comes out because of the 2 losses. Coming up next, Mizzou has Georgia at Georgia on Tuesday, and it's a 5:30 game. So it's kind of a weird start. I'm not used to seeing a 5:30 start. That game will be played on the SEC network, and then over the next weekend, they're playing at South Carolina, 1 p.m. on ESPN2. They have a good shot with those 2 games to maybe righten the ship a little bit. So if Tillman is back with the team for the Tuesday game, I'm not sure if he will or will not be. You never know how long someone has to go through the grieving process. And even if he does come back, he may not be the person we're used to seeing just because of what happened with his family. Even still, Georgia's one of the bottom feeders in the SEC. It'll be a good chance to get our defense right, figure some things out. And again, they play South Carolina next Saturday, which is also another good game to continue working on our defense. They have to figure out what's going on with the defense. They can't keep letting teams score 80 points against them because we're not a prolific offensive team, if you will. The only thing that was probably really hurting Mizzou is with those 2 losses is the fact that they're most likely not going to get the 2 byes in the SEC tournament. They have to have a lot of things fall their way, and they have to win out the rest of the season if they want a 2 seed or a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament. As for the NCAA tournament, I don't think it really affects it. I think their resume is already strong enough. They're probably going to go to the tournament no matter what. Maybe the biggest issue is their seeding. Instead of being a top 4 seed, they're probably going to drop down to 5 through 7 right now. Maybe even further if they lose another game. I'm not sure. Do I think they're going to get knocked out of the tournament? Not unless they lose like every game from here on out, and I just don't see that happening. So, in hindsight, the 2 losses really don't hurt us that much. However, it does push us back in our goal to being in the top 4 in the SEC. So we'll see how they respond this week. Anyway, thank you again for watching Under the Arch Sports. Please continue to check our YouTube channel for updates and all sports related to St. Louis. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.